Welcome to another week of Radio Melee. That's right. It's the show where we talk about how aMSa went Falco. Welcome, aMSa.
Yeah,
the point
thank
of
you.
the show.
That's the
And-
point of the show. But yeah, seriously, Get on My Level just happened. We're going to talk about, Get on My Level, GOML, aMSa's secondaries, and everything else. And for those of you who have more specific questions, of course, you can use !Radio Melee to hop into the Discord server and talk to us live on the program. We've got a lot of community voice questions from last week coming from Triff. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, so there should be. Also, I think summer rankings are coming up.
Oh yeah.
Something you could ask about. Wheat. Give me that Wheat from Melee Stats was talking about how summer rankings I think are coming out in like a week or two.
We need to get him on.
Spoiler, we might be getting him on pretty soon. Yeah, but feel free to speculate about what we think the rankings are going to be heading into the summer. And ask us anything else you want to talk about. So, how are y'all doing? How you doing, PP? How you doing, aMSa?
PP?
I'll go first. I'm doing good, and I'm glad we got aMSa on today because I think it's an interesting time for him for a lot of reasons, and so I'm really glad we're going to get a chance to talk to him. If a gamer tuning into this program somehow does not know, this is a remarkable gamer we have on Golden Guardians with us today. Came up as Yoshi, ranked number 2 last year, and fighting again for number 1 this year. He is going to be going back to Japan shortly, so I do want to be talking to him about his plans for what he's going to do after that, and also just how he's thinking about bringing out more characters too. So I think we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about today. And I think first, aMSa, a question that maybe some people are wondering after seeing you exploring more characters is, can Yoshi not do it solo?
Yes. Yoshi is actually a good character as a single main.
Yeah.
Like it's like I think better than Park could be.
Better than
as a solo character.
Better than Puff?
Yeah, the Park still have the Falco Fox problem.
Fox.
So has to be the all of the Fox player for being the number 1. It's tough, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sounds not too different from the Yoshi problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, but aMSa doesn't lose to most Foxes. He beats most.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas, does the average Puff player beat the average Fox player? I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. So especially one of the worst problem for Yoshi is the stage problem.
Stages.
Yeah, especially versus Fox, Stadium is one of the worst stage. And even the Yoshi story, we got the up air game, and on even the Dreamland, some Fox players are pretty good at the campaign with top platform stuff, so it's tough. So also the versus the Crotis, like the Jigglypuff and especially Park and the Peach, they're pretty strong on the FD versus Yoshi. So that's why I have to play game 4, game 5 situation on the against these characters.
You feel like you need to win all of your counter picks.
Yeah, right.
And you can't lose your counter picks.
Yep. So that's why every time when I play versus Hbox, basically every time we made it to game 5, especially when I won when I beat him, because basically I lost the FD matches. So having the kind of like a 5%, 10% chance of the winnings on the counter stage stuff, that's tough.
So it's
not kind of
Yoshi can't do it, but it's more that it sounds like you're saying you don't have much room for error. You have to win on the first game, and you got to win on your counter picks to win a set.
Yeah, right.
It sounds like it kind of reminds me, honestly, of when Mango used to go. I think Mango convinced himself he couldn't or didn't want to play Spaces against Armada on FD, right? And so he would play even against Triff. He played Marth against Triff
and he did afterwalks.
And it actually worked. It actually worked,
Yeah.
which is crazy. But it. I mean, I guess it's the same logic where it's like, yeah, okay, I could go
Mhm.
for Mango. It's like I could go Falco or Fox on FD, and I could win. But it's like the risk reward of, or it's like the expected win rate
Mhm.
on FD versus just going a secondary, and maybe your secondary is not as good, but there's the surprise factor, like they might not be used to it. And I mean, I think the Falco had a pretty good first showing.
Yeah.
Like, what did you think was going to happen? Did you expect to do? Because it was like kind of a close game, right?
Yes, but this is a pretty complicated situation.
Mhm.
So as a Yoshi's secondary character, I feel that Falco. At first, I feel Falco or Mouse is the best secondary with the
Mhm.
Yoshi, because Falco is kind of good versus Fox, and even FT is kind of weird, but the Pokemon Stadium is pretty good for the Fox,
Mhm.
have enough spacing, so it looks good. Also, the Mars is pretty good versus Fox and some floaties on the
Yeah.
FD and the stadium. So if I think about the stage counter pick, Mars is good. And if I think about the Yoshi's counter pick, like the Yoshi's worst matchup is I think the Fox and the Sheik
Mhm.
and the Captain Falcon. And
Mm.
Falcon looks not bad on these against these three characters.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about these two characters for a long time, and this time is kind of complicated situation because of the I'm always losing to the H boxes on the FT matches.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and this time I'm lost the first game, Fountain Dreams one.
Okay.
So yeah, after that I beat him on the battlefield matches, and the game counted 1-1. Then the game
Mhm.
3. I can go XD Yoshi for sure, but the winning rate is like a 10% or 5%.
Really?
Yeah. So
Wow.
even I took a game on XD, I saw that I give too much like the spacing and the neutral games information
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
for him, and it's just like a 5-10% opportunity for beat him.
Yeah.
So losing the game 3 matches with kind of give him enough uh like a neutral game knowledge during the
Yeah.
matches, like adaptation stuff. It's pretty. I saw that it's pretty bad.
But
So
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Isn't the neutral game on a stage that has platforms,
Mhm,
so basically not FD,
mhm.
isn't the neutral game between FD and not FD so different that even if you give him some data on FD, it's
Yep.
like not really data that he can use on the other stages?
Yeah, that's true. That's right. Because of that, basically Yoshi's Story, Battlefield, Fountain Dreams, and
Mhm.
even Dreamland, these four stages have the top platforms.
Yeah.
And with top platforms, the Yoshi's approaching gets a lot easier.
Yeah.
So the Yoshi's movement gets faster, and approaching with by using the side platforms and the top platform, it's a
Mhm.
lot easier. But
But
yeah,
yeah, go ahead. Well, I was gonna say you still think that the information that you give him by playing an FD game,
yeah,
even if you can somehow win it, maybe, but probably not, you think it's not worth giving up that information.
yes. Because of
Wow.
the legendary Hungry Boxes games gets a lot better and better compared with the beginning of this year.
Ah.
He has a pretty good patient
Mm-hmm.
on a lot of the matchups. So if I go Yoshi on the game 3, I think he gets start to play more patient with the
Mm-hmm.
bucket patient and starting capping for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel I can. At the time. I did not ready for the time up situation because I coming from the loser side and I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind
Mm-hmm.
of little bit losing the patient stuff. So I don't want to get that situation. Then I pick up the Falco. It's kind of pretty complicated decision.
Yeah.
So I pick up the Falco, but I really want to use Mars for sure because
Yeah, I was gonna ask, would you wouldn't play both Marth and Falco? It sounds like you want to find one or the other and then use that one as a secondary, but not play Yoshi and Marth and Falco.
yeah. I actually did not think about the Falco at the time because on my
Mhm.
Falco, I did not practice Falco till the like right before the H-boxes matches. I just warm up, just 10 minutes warm up, move around
Mhm.
before his matches.
Mhm.
And but I feel I think even if I use Mars, could be 2 stock or if it was good, it could be 3 stock. But I don't know the some key options with like a
Mhm.
force through, down through, force match cheaper options. I did not have enough time for practicing the Mars. Yeah, because of that, I joined a lot of week tournament, then
Mhm.
to the Fed 3s, and went to the GOML. Definitely, I have no time for practicing the secondary character.
I see.
Then
I see.
Mars is also the full flame jump squat character.
Yeah.
So if I use a Mars, could be messed up the wave dashing after that.
Falco and Yoshi are the same.
Yeah.
Falco and Yoshi are 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even though you use a Yoshi, Falco, I think I did not get confusing the using the character, secondary character. And
You don't
also
feel like it changes your like you can swap to because like Leffen was talking about this like for Zane. Leffen was saying he thought that Zane when he switched to Ice Climbers and then switched back to Marth like he felt like his Marth got a little bit worse. But you don't feel like for you that's not a big problem for you. You can go from Yoshi to Falco and then back to Yoshi and you feel like you're fine.
Yeah.
I see.
That's right. Also the even though I lost the game 3, next stage is Yoshi's story. It's pretty small and easier to kill opponent. So I think even the game 4, I did not give some matchup information to the H box. So then even game 5 Dreamland situation happened, I feel that I'm ready for a beat him.
Yeah. It sounds like there's a lot of you've been thinking about this for a long time.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like, I think when people assume like, oh, you got to pick up a character as a secondary or something, people assume they think that
I think that everyone
this person
think
can't
about
do it or something.
kind of serious counter pick options. But some people might think that use the second character, but they can't beat him. But the answer is actually that I'm kind of slowing the game 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's really interesting.
What
But
I mean, aMSa, instead of you wouldn't even have to put time into Falco. You could practice your Yoshi, and you could just SD 4 times. Then you wouldn't give many information. You wouldn't have to get tired.
Yeah, that's true. But it's not fun as a viewers.
Wow.
Also, the using the secondary series is pretty important for the future tournament. I had the experience this time. I had the experience of the using the secondary character during the top 8 series matches. And that's pretty good. Also, I feel something interesting stuff. I noticed something interesting stuff. So after using the Falco, I feel the H-box mess up the spacing a lot on the game 4 and the game 5. Because of against the Falco, the floated character has to play the different. He has to play a different style. So then, even the Dreamland situation, we play only the 4 or something. And it's not long games.
Right.
Yeah, we both play kind of aggressive at the time. Even though I lose a game, first stock with a game 5, he did not do the camping style. I think it's because of I use Fargo at the time.
Yeah, don't you think that if you literally just throw a game like you know, PP, like if you just were to start game 3 and just run off stage 4 times, don't you think that also would just give way too big of a mental edge to the opponent? Not only in
Maybe.
that set, but in future sets, like going into a set knowing like, hey, I basically only need to win 2 games and they need to win 3. I feel like that kind of psychological advantage would be the kind of thing that Hungrybox would like, you know, he would latch onto that, right? And I feel like the dynamic is vastly different. I mean, it's the same thing with like imagine like Mango going Marth against Triff. Like imagine he loses that game. It's still like versus like he just says I don't want to play you on FD. I'll just give you that game. I can't do it on FD because you're going to chain me. It's still like now Triff is thinking I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what like this is a weird counterpick strategy. Like I don't know what the hell's what do I do for my next game? You know, like do I have to worry about some other counterpicks? Versus like, oh, they just gave me the game for free. They just SD'd 4 times. Then you're like, wow, that's great. This is awesome. They just don't even think they can beat me on certain stages. Isn't it such a different mental game? And aMSa is very big on mental damage. You know this.
Mhm.
Right. He does love mental damage.
Yeah, I
What do
think
you think?
I
I don't know. Both of you.
personally, I think the SD 4 time is like the do you guys have baseballs? How do I say? Butter. The kind of pretty powerful batter is landing
Right.
for the home run. Like a home run rate is pretty high. Then just the pitchers say that just
they just walk him.
Yeah. They just right.
It's kind of same situation, but I think as a competitor, we are playing the tournament as a competitor, but also we have we also play the game like as for the entertainment for the viewers.
Mm-hmm.
If so, throwing the game like a 4SD is kind of it's just not good. I feel.
Sure, that's
It's not
fair.
as good sportsmanlike behavior.
That's why I pick up the Falco.
Yeah.
You still have the chance to win.
Well, I mean, it also sounds like you want to get the Falco to where in the future it can win more reliably.
Yeah.
But you haven't decided yet if it's going to be Falco, if it's going to be Marth.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't decided if it's like
in the future,
one or the
definitely. Yeah. In the future, definitely I use a mouse.
Really, you're going to try it.
He's just got to practice it more. It sounds like.
Yeah.
But you don't think that like this means that other Yoshi players need a secondary or something?
So far, I think that still they can focus on the single character. But that's interesting. That some Yoshi player actually think the Pokemon Stadium is not actually not bad for Yoshi. So it depends on the players. Personally, I feel the Pokemon Stadium and SD FD has some problem for the Yoshi, but some other Yoshi player has a different opinion. So Yoshi still could be the single character that's still possible to do the solo character. But as a top player, I'd like to get a more better winning rate against all of the players. So just want to try the secondary.
Okay,
makes sense.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, I'm surprised. I think the thing that I'm the most surprised to hear you say is the fact that you think that Yoshi could be a better solo main character than Jigglypuff even.
Yeah.
Because you think Fox beats Puff harder than you think Fox beats Yoshi.
Yeah, right.
That makes sense.
Also, a lot of the Fox player, even a non-Fox player, counterpick the Fox against the Puff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And every Fox player has a different playstyle, so it's not easy to beat all of them. And I feel the Park Yoshi Peach is kind of pretty close at the same tier as a single main character.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Peach has a Sheik. Could be Captain Falcon as well.
Yeah.
It's harder to beat it. Also, that Park is one of the hardest one for the Peach.
The Peach players will say that they lose to everybody. Peach players say they lose to
Hey, unless you're
Fox, they
Triff,
lose to
unless you're Triff.
Falco, they lose to Mars. Triff is from Europe, so things are backwards in Europe. But the other Peach players, they say they lose to every character.
Yeah,
They lose to Yoshi, they lose to Ice Climbers. The list goes on and on. Oh, Ice Climbers is even. Ice Climbers is even. Yeah, that's what the Peach players say. So I'm sure they're very happy to hear you say this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think compared with Park on the Peach, could be Yoshi is could be better as a single main.
No, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that. I mean, it's hard to compare because I think everybody thinks of like Hungrybox being so successful, but also you've been so successful. So it is kind of I guess it depends on how you weigh certain matchups. I mean, some people in the community would tell you that they think Puff beats Fox, right? That's like a thing that people used to say, PP. And some people still say, I guess.
If she plays only on the ledge and she time limit and you know
there's no and there's no airtime limit and
I think if we do not have the 65-35 matchup, should be fine.
Yeah, okay. And for Yoshi, that is which one? Which one's 65-35?
With Yoshi doesn't have that matches, so that's why.
Okay.
Oh, you don't even think Sheik is that bad?
Yeah, Sheik is 40-60. Sheik is favor.
Yeah, okay.
And
then Peach.
And the Peach is 45-55, or could be even in the future, but 45-55 in my opinion, because of the stages.
Because of the stages.
Yeah, definitely on the FD, it's way harder.
Right.
FD is 65-35, something that kind of station. But Yoshi's story, Yoshi is pretty good. Also, Battlefield, not bad. Phantom Dreams, it's okay. So it's pretty much depending on the stages.
Wow, it's so interesting. So hearing you talk about this because it really does feel like on one hand you're so optimistic about Yoshi and you're like, yeah, Yoshi could do it, and on the other hand you're like, yeah, but I'm gonna get a secondary anyway. It's so funny because normally, I can't help but notice the difference, right? There's normally a player that hates a matchup or multiple matchups and like, I got to get a secondary. I'm tired of this. But you're like, no, I could still do it. I just, it'd be easier. It's just kind of funny the difference.
Yeah, I didn't just wanna go the just single Yoshi main, but this year I lost to the Cody and the Monkey like 5 times or 6 times this year. If we keep going just the Yoshi without any actions, that's stupid as a top player.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It feels like the sets are getting closer and closer though.
Yeah.
Like I feel like for you, I mean, I don't know how you feel about this because when I watch you, I feel like recently, for example, you beat Laud, you beat Triff, and even Moki, you didn't win the set, but it was like really, really close. Game 5 last stock, anyone's game. So to me, it feels like you're making a lot of progress in your harder matchups. Like, but I don't know. I don't know if you count that as some kind of like a personal victory or, but I know you've been working on it.
Yeah, one of the problem is at the Ludwig tournament, especially day 2, the last day.
Yeah,
I actually feel I played well, like a 9 or 8 or 9 out of 10. And I feel that Cody and the Monkey playing just like a normal, not good, but not bad. It's like a 5 or 6 out of 10. But I still lose.
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, that's why I feel it's tough. So for beat them, what I need is just if Cody and Monkey play bad, I could beat them. But if I play normal, I lost to them. That's pretty bad situation for me. Even this time at the GOML, I think I played 9 or 10 out of 10. I feel I played pretty well, but I still lose. So
yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, so it will get closer, but the situation, like I play today, I play 6 out of 10. This day is pretty bad, like a 3 out of 10. That kind of situation also happen. Even the play, like the kind of peak of my melee history, still loses kind of. It looks close, but
Yeah.
I don't feel it.
Really
Yeah,
Makes sense.
interesting.
but this time I feel I got some new knowledge for the versus Fox style. So if I do the practice more, it could be closer. I had to test it though.
And really
Interesting.
quickly to talk about testing and knowledge and really quickly everything else. You are going to be your 1 year visa in Canada is ending
Yeah.
soon. I know. I'm sorry. I know that, but I want the people to be informed. I'm not trying to give you a hard time. Just trying to let people know. And you're going to be going back to Japan soon after the off season.
Yes.
The tournament named off season.
Mhm.
And what are your plans there? I mean, I'm sure you're going to be working on your Marth a lot to surprise people. Now we talked about it, so maybe less of a surprise.
Mhm.
But how well do you think you can do? I mean, do you still think you can get #1 while over there? What's your plan?
So after going back to Japan, think it's pretty tough to make it the #1 player in the world.
Mm.
So my I can attend the tournament like I think it's like a left hand. So every 1 or 2 months, if we have the major tournament, I will join.
Okay.
It's back to like that situation. But if I join like this, just this 5, 6 tournament on every year, then get the #1 player in the world is kind of tough. I think I had to win half of them.
Yeah.
That's
That's
Yeah,
tall
that's a
order.
good point. That's a good
yeah.
point.
The goal looks tough. So, but that's why I has to work on the gets better winning rate for the future tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So then having the secondary might be the make sense.
Yeah,
Right.
I
You're going to have
mean,
extra time.
Yes,
that's true.
and
Yeah, you'll have more time to prepare.
yeah, right. So I think that's why the Armada's winning rate gets a lot better after setting use Fox maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean,
I'm
Armada.
sure Armada would love to hear you say he did better because he was European. That would make him very happy. I'm sure.
No, he said he was better because he started playing Fox.
Oh, he started playing Fox. Oh, I
Yeah.
thought because he was going to less. I misunderstood.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the my situation is kind of same with Armada.
It is kind of similar, yeah.
He has a Xbox problem for a long time. Then he practiced with the left hand a lot. Then left hand also got some problem for him. Then he started to use the Fox, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It was for specific players.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah,
for
for
specific
certain
players.
matchups that he really didn't want to play Peach in anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of same situation. That makes sense. Just to follow the Armada's load.
Hey, not a bad road to follow.
Yeah, that's true. It's you gotta look at the silver lining on everything, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And using the secondary is kind of also maybe it's also good for Yoshi. I can get some other side. How to say? I can
Like
see.
you think it might make your Yoshi better.
Yeah.
Other perspectives?
Yeah. That one.
Do you feel like picking up Marth like improved your Falco in any way, PP?
Yeah, I really think it gave me a better understanding of movement. It actually made me kind of worse at first because I was trying to move my Falco like a Marth, and his dash is just not as good. But once I was able to balance the two, which took a while, yeah, it was helpful to understand when the movement was actually good. No, it did help.
I think that's a pretty common thing. Is like, and I kind of feel like you can see it with certain players, like people who are really good at a lot of different characters. Like I feel like top players will I don't know, I'm thinking of people like Plup, where Plup has really, I think, reached this point where because he's so good with like the entire cast, I feel like he has these really interesting ideas that like all of his characters look incredibly unique because I feel
Yeah.
like he's bringing things from. He'll be playing Sheik and he'll do like run up tilt. And I'm like, where did he get the idea for that? And it kind of reminds me of like if you're playing like Fox and you're just like charging in and you want to do a fast grounded move. And I don't see any of the other, for example, Sheik's doing stuff like that. And so on and so forth. So yeah, I'm always a big believer in like, I think learning multiple characters is once you're a sufficiently good enough player, it's like a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I think people run into this trap where they're like newer players, they try to diversify too early, and I think it kind of halts their progress a little bit because they don't have a main that they can really fall back on. But I think once you're already a really good player, it's usually like probably a pretty good thing. I bet if you like track progress of like various top players, I feel like it probably usually helps them out. But then again, I don't have any actual data supporting this. This is just all my eye test. So,
But you also study user Sheik, right?
me, yeah, I think it made my tech chasing better.
Oh yeah, cool.
There you go.
Oh,
So-
and personally, I want to ask PPMD. Why did you study the user Maro?
He needed a longer dash. I know this one. I know.
It's not a matchup reason, not anything like that. Long story short, I wanted to experience the game differently. Like I was feeling like I wasn't sure where to go with Melee, with Falco and everything like that, because I'd been able to beat everyone with Falco. I wasn't sure what I wanted. And so I started learning a lot about Marth, and in particular, everyone at the time said Marth wasn't good. He couldn't win, and I was like, "That's crazy. This is like possibly the best character in the game, if not the best, like for sure the best." And I was like, "I gotta, at least need to do something with this while I have this extra time and motivation to put somewhere else." So I played Marth, and I just really enjoyed it. I had someone that was really teaching me it as well, and so I was really enjoying that whole learning process. It was really fun, and it ended up helping me see a whole lot of things differently too. So just the radical difference of the way Marth has you think about the game versus Falco is really cool. So I liked it a lot.
That's interesting.
You did it as the way you say that, it almost sounds so like, maybe I don't remember 2014 that well, but like, it's funny the way you say that because it makes it sound like you just did it because it seemed fun. Because you were already winning so much, you wanted to win a different way. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't. I don't know.
Like, this is boring. I keep kicking people with Falco.
Maybe I didn't present that well. Then you're very.
But
I think that's fair. No, that's fair.
That is how it sounds. This was my impression when it happened, right? Because you won Skator 3, and I was like, well, all right, well, Mewtwo King can't touch this guy, and then you just started playing Marth, and I was like, all right, I guess he's just doing a victory lap now. Is that not accurate?
I actually started with Marth learning after Genesis 2. So it was in the works for a while.
Shit. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was in
Genesis
the works.
2 was 2011.
Wow. Summer 2011. So
I guess that makes sense because it was too good too quickly if you follow the official timeline.
Yeah, so I've been working
No one's Marth just beats Mewtwo King first try.
Yeah, no, I had to lose to him a few times in tournament, and we went to a Xanadu and played together, which you brought up before, so I know you remember that.
That Xanadu was a big deal, right? I think a lot of people watched that. That was like a pretty famous.
Yeah.
I don't have any statistics in terms of like stream numbers or anything, but I have a recollection that I feel like it was a lot of people were watching that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was there, so I didn't have the stream open. But that's good.
Yeah. I don't know. Not 100% sure. Not 100% sure.
But that was fun. That was fun to be part of. And stuff like that. Just spontaneous, like people going to like locals and stuff like that. Like there were times where Mango and Armada played at the finals of a local because they were there before like a big house or something. They were just playing all the time. It was kind of cool that time period. That was fun.
Also, the top players, like the legendary Jane started use the ice climbers.
Yeah.
And I started use the Falco this time, but thinking about using the Mars, so we can make the some different storylines.
Yes.
Right now, I think it looks good for the communities.
Yeah, a lot of
Mhm.
people. Yeah, I think that is something I didn't know if we talk about today or not. That there are a lot of players that are using secondaries and thinking about that right now. Whereas there were a lot of solo mains, especially a couple years ago. I think Leffen started changing that, and when Cody was doing Fox Chic as well.
Yeah.
But now there's a lot more people doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be a question we're going to get or not. Exclamation Radio Melee in my chat and Topes if you're interested in asking that. Also 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. If you're trying to come through and ask, but aMSa, what do you think? Why do you think so many people are doing secondaries now? Like, I imagine your reason for picking up a secondary is not, oh, well, Zane and Leffen did it, so I'll do it. I'm sure you have your own reasons. So why do you think everyone's doing that, or more people are doing that now?
Yeah, I think that we played this game for a long time, and I think some people have the struggle with the same person,
Mhm.
like me, the Plop Cody, Moki for a long time. Like HBox versus Zane. HBox is also complaining about the
Mhm.
secondary stuff, right?
Even HBox said he wanted a secondary, and I've never heard him say that, not even for Fox. So that was something.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. Maybe HBox should use Peach or Yoshi. Not sure.
Yoshi.
You coach
Oh
you
my
coach
God.
HBox's Yoshi. I'll
Yeah,
pay to see
I
that.
can do it. I can do
Oh,
it.
that would be fun to watch.
Actually, I feel the Peach looks good for him though. Bit complicated
Peach.
compared with the Path, but kind of same floaty character. And the versus Mars is kind of different compared with Jigglypuff.
I
That's
don't know if he
interesting.
would enjoy. I don't know if he would enjoy playing Peach Fox or Peach Marth. I'll be honest with you. We had Triff
You
on the
think?
show last week, and he said Marth was Peach's worst matchup.
Oh yeah, so
So
Mars.
I think I don't. So I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
we try it.
I can't imagine HBox playing any character except Puff. I'm just gonna keep it a bug.
I love
think
Genghis one.
which one's Genghis one?
I think
Yeah.
I think it's the Fox, but sometimes it's also the Falco.
Yeah, but the mirror is interesting.
Why is Genghis one Fox? Like what's
It's basically his. It's not that it's either his Fox or his Falco. It's that it is his alternate non-puff persona, which I think could be any secondary, I guess, except for maybe his Nest, which is also Hungry Box. I don't fully know the HBox lore. It's just basically it's his
It's
alter
a
ego.
complicated guy, yeah. You gotta
Oh,
be
yes.
Captain Crunch to fully only Captain Crunch can really fully
He's
get to the
bubble
bottom of this.
theoried all his characters. They're all in separate bubbles, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think
I'm not gonna lie, I think HBox is a Puff player.
Yeah, also
I think he's always gonna be a Puff player.
Yeah, he also used the Gandalf for a long time at the CEO 2014 something.
Really?
Do you guys remember?
I don't remember that.
Really
Against
remember
who?
that.
I think against maybe
Pisces?
Armada. I think Armada.
Armada?
I think. I swear
Armada's
it was CEO
Peach?
2014.
What? Wait, I gotta find this. Hang on, I'm gonna look on YouTube.
Who did he play Ganon against? Armada's Peach,
Hungry
Armada's
Box, Ganondorf. Maybe Armada's Young Link. I don't know.
Was Young Link? Okay.
Yeah.
If you YouTube search Hungry Box Ganondorf, you just get these really clickbaity Smash Ultimate videos from his YouTube channel.
Oh, I found CEO 2014 Hungry Box Jigglypuff
did?
versus Infamous Peach.
Infamous Peach. That's not Armada.
Sorry.
It could be Secret Armada.
Yeah,
but he did go Fox against Armada in losers finals and winner semis. He played all Fox, in fact. He played all Fox against Armada that tournament. They started Fox Young Link and they only played Fox Young Link for the whole set. And
so I think
who won?
I love them so much.
I think for having the secondary character, kind of counterpick to the counterpick situation is kind of worse.
Yeah.
So like if I counterpick the Falco against the HBox, then they got the Peach, like the Mars against the Falco is kind of worst for me.
Yeah, that's the thing is when you get a secondary, you open yourself up to the counterpick war. You open yourself up to really needing to win game one.
Yeah,
you do. Hungry Box got smoked by Armada. Young Link.
Oh,
Armada's Young Link 3-0'd Hungry Box's Fox.
So
Full
let's go
mix.
check that out. Is that
I'm
CEO?
watching. I have it up right now.
Is that CEO Toph? For the
CEO
people-
2014.
Okay, yeah. For
Hungry
you
Box
listening.
went
Oh, yeah.
all Fox in
Oh,
both
wow.
yeah,
rounds.
that one.
So much full hot
All
back here.
Fox.
So much full hot back here.
Didn't try the
So-
Ganon.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking about the Mars. You can use the
Yeah.
Mars on the FD or
Fascinating. I don't remember this at all.
Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah.
Even though I got the double counter picked, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
At least I have the FD or Pokemon Stadium Mars, so looks good.
Yeah, and again,
Sorry, I have this game up right now, and I'm losing my mind. This is fascinating.
we're gonna. I think Toph's done for a little bit, for a little while in this episode.
Oh
He's
my
got to really
God.
take in.
Oh, that was the worst
melee.
PI I've ever seen. Oh my God, dude! He died to a. He was winning, and he died to a Young Link dash attack at 70%. Just died the wrong way and died. Oh my
I
God,
love
that's
it
so
so
funny. He's just
much.
dead.
So
I love
crazy.
that so much.
Oh man, Hungrybox has been DIing the wrong way, even with Fox in 2014.
I love it
The more
so
you
much.
know.
Yeah,
it's I mean, this is for me why I always, I very rarely, even though I can play other characters, I very rarely trusted them in tournament. I don't like for me, I just didn't like the feeling of when I would, if I maybe I was at a local or something because I was trying to see if I wanted to play Sheik as a secondary, and I would go Sheik and I'd lose, and then I think to myself, maybe instead of playing Sheik, or I would stay Fox and I would lose even,
Mhm.
and then I would after the game I'd be like, oh, maybe I would have won if I went Sheik.
Mhm.
And I realized that all of my thought process was about which character I should pick, not how I should have played differently. And I
Yeah.
realized that I just want to. For me, I think. Well, granted, I think Fox and Sheik are both really good characters, so it doesn't matter as much. It's not as important as like Yoshi, I think. Right?
Mhm.
Fox, I think, can do it on every stage. And for me, I just didn't like the feeling of like focusing on the character select screen. I wanted to focus on what I did wrong in the game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I think it depends from person to person.
I also think aMSa and Zane actually have a similar kind of approach to this, where they're just going to play one character in like a few matchups on certain stages, so they get to bypass that to an extent, which I think a lot of and I think if you're unless you're someone like Leffen who is wholly committed to switching and will not change back no matter what,
Right.
I think you might be opened up more to those things. So I think this is a very personal decision for sure.
Yeah.
No, I think it makes a ton of sense. I think it makes a
Yeah.
ton of sense.
Also, yeah, that's interesting. I only think about the Mars, but after using the Falco on the versus Xbox this time, Falco makes the opponent pretty much confusing, and they're not ready for the versus Falco against
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah,
they do not
that makes
prepare
total
for it.
sense.
So as a mix up during the matches, Falco is so good.
Hey, if you ever want to talk birds sometime, let me know, aMSa.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I want to focus on Mars right now, but I wanna try the Falco just for fun, having fun
Gotcha.
something.
Mhm.
Also, I play doubles a lot with my friends right now. So
Mhm.
using the Mars and the Falco on the doubles looks
Oh, good practice.
also good. Yeah, good.
Yeah,
practice.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Makes sense.
Martha, especially, I think Martha's you've got to be,
Mhm.
you've got to play a particular way in doubles,
Mhm. Yeah.
just
But
to make it work.
I had asked on the GOML doubles.
That's
somehow.
true. That's a big. That
tough.
was and you
Yoshi-
beat. I mean, I think a lot of people would have called J-Mook and Cody probably potentially the best team.
Yeah.
So beating that team twice is pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this time actually we beat them once.
Just once.
Yeah,
Who beat
they
them
lost
the other
the
time? I didn't see the other side of the bracket.
Polish and the Wally.
Really, double
They
peach.
lost, yeah, they lost a double pitch on the game side.
Wow.
Then we played, but they beat they did some losers round. Then
Yeah.
we played grand finals and then we beat them.
Very
But
nice.
eventually we got to get closer and closer. So at the Battle BC,
Mhm.
we beat the Korean Jaemuk at the winners final.
Yeah.
But then losing on the grand final set two. And also at the tip off, we got the reverse 3-0 and then losing the game grand final set two.
Oh, really?
That's gotta
Yeah,
feel
but-
good to finally win then.
Yeah. So basically we won the first matches, legendary. Then first set.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. then they lose in the grand finals. But this time the double beat Wally and the Polish beat them. Then somehow we won.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's a pretty big result for sure.
Yeah, I wish that we have more static doubles in the
Mm.
future. That would be
Yeah, it's a shame. I don't know. I feel like I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I was like I realized because I had nothing to do on Friday. I was like, damn, I should have entered doubles. I
Oh,
just
wait,
didn't.
when?
I don't know. I don't
Uh-huh.
have a teammate right now, so I don't have anyone to enter with. But I could have.
Yeah, definitely Toph PP. Toph PP
Well,
teams.
yeah, PP
Wants
can
to.
maybe he can dial in on Slippy or something.
There you go. In there.
Yeah.
I get my Yoshi in there. I got from all my aMSa training.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
can.
we'll
I can
make
coach
that
you.
work.
We'll talk. We'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk. Maybe one of my secondaries.
You're
Well,
DK from all the jousting.
Yeah. Actually, I think I've done the least jousting on the GG Melee crew, actually. Because I wasn't around for the
We
first
gotta fix
jousting day,
that. We gotta fix that.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
We'll make it work. We did have the Junebug DK coaching session. where
I
me and
watched that.
aMSa-
That was nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
There you go.
Yeah, I had
You're
the good
prepared.
fortune of not running into Kadoran, so I was able to come out victorious on that one. But I
That's
feel like
so
I got an
bad.
easier draw.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, I'm ready to go ahead and switch over to our community voice and callers if you are, Toph.
Yeah, let's do it.
All
we had a
right.
lot of responses last week on the community voice. We had I don't know. I think people just really like talking about Pokemon. We had Triff on, and Triff asked about basically adding a Pokemon to the Smash roster and what their moveset would look like.
Their properties as well. He wanted to know how are they going to be a middleweight,
Yeah.
what the traction is, all kinds of stuff.
He wanted and he also didn't want he specifically requested non-standard. I mean, there's a lot of Pokemon that are really easy to, you could say like Machamp or something, some fighting type. Right? Like you could add there's a million Pokemon not a million, but there's tons of Pokemon that you could just add that would be really easy to fit into the Smash roster just by virtue of, being relatively generic fighters, let's say, right? But he was specifically saying, let's get a little bit weird. Let's get some Pokemon in there that you wouldn't expect to be a playable character. And Emissary of Smeagol answering that exact request by saying Aegislash. You know Aegislash, PP?
I do. I watched a little bit of competitive in the past.
Yeah, it's like
so
it's like a floating sword and shield type situation. Yeah, Aegislash would switch between shield form and blade form with down B as a variable moveset like Zelda and Sheik, but to a lesser degree. I could see the different modes behaving like Shulk, Smash, and shield modes in ult. An aerial and blade form could be faster and have more range, whereas the same aerial and shield form would linger and have intangibility. At the cost of reduced drift and ground speeds, blade form Nair would be shaped like Marth, shield form Nair like Game & Watch. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, Aegislash like floats there, so I'm curious how many jumps it has, or like if it just flies around. But
oh yeah, maybe.
I mean, it
does
doesn't
glide.
have feet. Like it doesn't stand on the ground. I think it just levitates menacingly, right?
Yeah.
I think.
So does that mean it can't crouch cancel? I don't know. Maybe shield form helps with that. Maybe shield form is like reduced knockback.
I could see it. I could see how. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I could see how they would do it. I could see how they would do it, but yeah, that would be a very creative addition to the roster for sure. Joseph Klein 2583 says Tentacruel. I'd imagine it's pretty floaty, would have some aerial similar to Marth with tentacles in place of the sword. It could have a tether grab like the Lynx and Samus as well. Mid movement speed, but decent dash because Tentacruel is actually kind of fast. Yeah, that's true. I remember that. Specials could be water moves like Squirtle or Mario have in other games. Up B kind of like a splash or waterfall that performs like King's DDD's recovery. There's wacky potential while still staying within the area of realism for melee, I think. Yeah, I'm kind of like reminded of like I don't know if you've seen Ivysaur from I guess PM.
Oh yeah,
he's got like that, or even ult, right? Like I think the back air is just that whippy kind of. There's like it's not like a tentacle, but it's like the vine whip, and it's doing like a whippy thing, and it's got 2 hits.
Yeah,
and I think it's a pretty good move. Like I could see Tentacruel having that.
Yeah, no, I like I like how a lot of people are relating these answers to a lot of other characters. I was looking at this one and actually the next one in DDD coming up twice. A lot of DDD fans coming out, noticing that.
Yeah, there might be something. There might be like the sorts of people that like to think of Pokemon for Smash Brothers are the same sorts of people who know a lot about King DDD, you know. But I'm not gonna go too heavy into the psychoanalysis.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, but go ahead and read this one.
I got this next one from Kaessen saying one Pokemon I would add is Lickitung, which is a choice for reasons that I will not go into. His tongue would be a useful weapon. He would be a heavy, floaty character with long range, lasting hit. His sound effects would be similar to Luigi's.
They would?
He would have a tongue tether, but would also have a DDD-esque up B recovery.
Yeah, okay.
How good he would be is between Bowser and DK, which is a
we even have a tier
range.
list. Yeah, that's a fair range. That's like the lower half of the cast, basically. DK, I would say, is right around the middle, right?
Yeah,
DK is like, it's like you got Fox, Falco, Marshy, Falcon, Puff, Peach, Yoshi, Pikachu, Samus, Ices, Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's like right in the middle. So you're basically looking at somewhere in the low tiers.
Yeah, which you know, but I think again the people that will be Lickitung enjoyers are very powerful and they will not be stopped.
Yeah, I'm really curious about the Luigi sound effects thing. I'm not really completely able to visualize what that's supposed to, like, which moves are supposed to have which sound effects, but yeah, I'm sure they've got a grand vision. I'm sure Essen has a grand vision for this whole thing. Anyway, with that said, let's get our first caller for the episode. We got a bunch of questions lined up, and our first caller is going to be Tugboat. Where are you calling in from, and what do you have for us today, Tugboat?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm from Texas. I'm coming from El Paso.
Oh, welcome. Nice. Welcome from Texas.
Hello. Hello, aMSa.
Oh, Tugboat, hello. He's my TikTok editor.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so I was calling in for a question more for about aMSa.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my question, or kind of a little bit, is that, you know, obviously when aMSa first came here to the US, to North America on his visa, we saw like an immediate improvement in his results. So like, you know, whether it be like Double Down, like you kind of saw him like performing better. And so with this visa coming to an end soon, I was just kind of wondering, like, if you think it'll kind of be harder to maintain those type of results when traveling from Japan again.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think even after going back to Japan, it's possible to win a major field. Because in 2017, 2018, 2019, I make it to the top 10 player in the world. So the SSB rank top 10. So I think even in 2020, 2021, I have a chance to win the tournament. But I'm just lack of the tournament experience at that time. Just I can join 6 or 7 every month, every year. So I feel for winning the major, if I joined a lot of the tournament, I could be. I could win one of them. Then this time, somehow, right after I got visa, I just won the big house. But it's like just 2 weeks right after coming to the Canada.
It was instant.
Yeah, it's instant. It's like the kind of same with the other trips. Sometimes I stay in the US like 2 weeks at the Double Down and GOML. I just stay in Canada and in North America just 2 weeks. It's kind of same situation, but still I won the tournament at the time. So definitely the staying in Canada helps me a lot compared with coming from Japan. But if I came to some major tournament before the like 3-4 days ago, like if I overcome the jet lag situation, I think I still win the tournament. Also, if I going back to Japan, all of the North American player can't play versus me.
And that's what I was going to bring up.
And I had enough experience, so I think it helps me a lot. Also, in Japan, I can still practice with some good Japanese smashers.
Mm,
Mhm.
good.
So
Mhm.
I think I can win. Yeah.
How impactful? I don't know. What about jet lag? Because I mean, what do you feel like not having the jet lag because you didn't have to travel as far like helped you a lot, or do you feel like that wasn't actually that big a deal?
Jet lag is pretty much depend on what time I'm flying. So
Okay.
if I fly in like 6 p.m. or something, I just straight go to the hotel. Then I can sleep because I feel
Mhm.
so tired. Then I can fix my sleep schedule. But
Ah.
this time at the Fed 3, I got crazy bad jet lag.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
just
Seemed like that
let
happened to a lot of people.
yeah, because a lot of the top player went to the Ludwig tournament to the United Kingdom straight ahead, and the
Yeah.
time difference is 8 hours. So
Yeah, that's big.
yeah, especially the worst problem is going to the tournament from the west to the east
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because of
West to
the
east.
yes, because the
Which
UK.
Japan is west to east.
Yeah,
Going from
right.
Japan to NA is west to east. Yeah.
That's the worst. Because when I try to sleep in the east side,
Yeah.
uh, one 1 a.m. Basically, I'm sleeping like a 1 a.m. 2 a.m. something.
Yeah.
So 1 a.m. is just 5 o'clock. So 5 p.m. in Japan.
Right. Right. It's
That's
like it's when you'd be the most awake.
yes. But
Mhm.
east to west is pretty good
Yeah.
because of the it's also same the 8 hours time difference. But the in the east side, it was a 5 a.m. West side is 9 p.m. So it's like
Yeah.
when I going back to Japan, I feel sleepy like 8 or 9 p.m. Then I wake up like 3 4 a.m. It's like a just pretty good sleep schedule. It's like a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, we were just
So
talking about this last week with Triff, where Triff was saying he had actually had a
Mhm.
hard time at FET because
Mhm.
he's used to usually he has a really bad sleep schedule. And he
Right.
was saying that he likes to come to America east to west, and then it fixes his sleep schedule. So he
Yeah.
goes to sleep at like 6 a.m. or whatever, but then when he flies to America,
Mm-hmm.
then he has a regular sleep schedule all of a sudden. But he
Yes.
can't do that at FET. So he actually said that even though FET was like almost like the same time zone for him, or a much more similar
Yeah.
time zone, it was actually worse for him, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, that's tough.
But,
You said you were going to fix the jet lag earlier in your answer by arriving a few days early. Are you always going to be able to do that? Does it always fix it or no?
Basically I can fix it. At least day 2.
Okay, so
Ah.
if you're always able to arrive earlier, then you'll always be able to fix it. Then you're saying.
Yeah.
I
So
remember I
this-
had this. There was a tournament, a Canadian
Mhm.
tournament. Actually, I think it was the first Get on My Level.
Mhm.
It was when Get on My Level wasn't a major. I think it was
Mhm.
Get on My Level. It was a Canadian tournament. And I remember I took a red eye to go to Canada. Red eye meaning I flew out
Mhm.
at midnight and I landed at 6 a.m.
Oof.
So I was dead tired. I was really really sleepy on day 1 of the tournament. And day 1 they played down to top 16. And I remember to make top 16, I had to beat Coffee Black, who's a pretty good Falcon from Canada. And I remember I was dying. I was dying. I was so tired, and I was just thinking like one more set. Like if I can get through the set, I can go to sleep. Because I couldn't sleep on the plane at all. I'd basically been awake for like over 24 hours at this point,
Oh man.
and it was really bad. It was really bad. And I remember it was game 5 last talk, and I was playing pretty bad, and I should have lost. And he had a free knee off stage for his last talk, and he jumped off stage to do the knee, but he went too low. He tried to do soft knee up air, but he did the fast fall too early, and he did soft knee up air, and I was like gonna die because he hit me with soft knee up air, but it was Dreamland, so it didn't kill me off the side. I was like just really far away, and I was like, oh, he can't make it back, so I side stalled, and he died before me because he did it too low. And so he died before me, and I was just like, yes, thank God. Oh, it's over. And then I on Sunday I played fine. I
Yeah.
got 10 hours of sleep, and then I was great the next day. But I remember that. I remember thinking like, okay, if I can get past this set, I'm okay. So maybe that's a good point. I mean, as long as your hardest matches are going to be usually on Sunday. So if you can just make it to Sunday, I guess you'll be fine. That's kind of a good point.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
You
Also,
just have to make it to Sunday.
yeah. Also, fixing jet lag, it's also depend on the hotel situations.
Ah,
I saw your tweet.
food too.
Foods
Why
nearby
food?
as. Mhm.
What about food?
What other food? If you have enough the choices, that's better.
But you feel like sometimes you can't like eating the right food helps you fix your jet lag or something?
Because after eating some food, we feel a bit sleepy.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I can control that kind of stuff. Also, sometimes I got the use a level for the little bit step late or something for the controlling my stuff.
Do you ever eat heavy food so that you feel sleepy so that you can go to sleep?
Yeah.
So what do you
Actually,
eat? What do you eat if you want to sleep?
I ate a lot of the proteins, so like the steak and eggs, and
Yeah.
or ramen noodles, just
Ramen
like
noodles. Yeah, ramen you'll
barbecues.
get sleepy.
Yeah, some barbecues.
GOML
McDonald's.
had some really good ramen.
Oh yeah,
by the way.
true. I went to there 2 times.
You went.
Yeah,
Which one? The Ikkosha.
yeah. That
Ikkosha.
Ikkosha.
Hakata, yeah.
That's pretty good one.
Apparently their honten is in Fukuoka.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
that's
it's like
quite good.
it's pretty how do you say authentic?
Mhm.
It's pretty honkakuteki.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that place
So,
was pretty good.
so for fixing jet lag, depend on the flight schedule,
Mm-hmm.
hotel quality,
Mm-hmm.
food quality. Yeah, this is what.
That makes a lot of sense. I never really thought food was kind of part of the picture, but I guess you've
Yeah.
given it, it sounds like you've given it a lot of thought and it sounds like you're pretty hopeful about the whole thing. So yeah, we'll definitely
I got the crazy jet lag at the Fed 3, and there's no basically just a few food places though, but we do not have enough choices for the food at the Fed 3.
Mm-hmm.
We can't use the Uber and Uber Eats, so
Yeah.
that's all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point because it's not in London, right? It's kind of in the middle of
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say the middle of nowhere, but it's not in the city.
Yeah, it's kind of countryside.
Countryside. Countryside. But that's why we love it.
Mhm.
That's why we love it.
Mhm.
Well, hopefully that answers your question. Tugboat, good question by the way. I was kind of honestly really curious about that too.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
But yeah, if you got any shout outs you want to do, the floor is yours.
Yeah, subscribe to the aMSa TikTok.
There
YouTube
you
channel.
there you
nice.
go.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
see some of your
Thank you for having
finest
me.
work.
Mhm.
See ya.
Appreciate that, Tugboat.
See you around.
Yep.
All right, our next caller is going to be. Looks like we got Propaganda joining us. What's up, Propaganda? Where are you calling in from?
How's it going, guys? I'm calling in from Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon. Very nice.
Yep. And my question today is, after FET 3, I saw a lot of praise from average level players saying that they got to play a lot more tournament sets than they usually would. And I contrasted this with my own experience at Major Upset, where I went 0-2, and that was it.
How was that?
I was wondering specifically, aMSa, how you felt as a top player having to go through those round robin pools, if you felt any burnout, and if there are any changes that North American tournaments can make where we can get average or low level players more tournament sets without impacting top players too much.
That's an interesting question. I actually love the round robins because I can play a lot of matches as well. So, and I know that when I went to the locals in Japan, we played a tournament with round robins. So,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Actually, it's funny. Japan used to do round robin pools, but
Mm-hmm.
for seeding, and it would be best of one in the round robin. Did you ever play in those? Smabato was
Yeah.
best of one round robin.
Yeah, right. So all just two out of the four can make it to the winner side on the first round robin. Then the other two play with other block players and play the best of one round robins, and also the three stocks.
3 stock. That's right. 3 stocks. Yeah, 3 stocks.
Because we only have the 1 day tournament, so.
It reminded me of actually, Aiden's formats for like Summit, LACS, more Summit, I guess, is kind of the same thing. LACS same way, right? Where like if you do good enough in the pool, the round robin, then you don't play the second phase, like the gauntlet or whatever. Like at Summit, like say Summit 14, for example, you don't play in the gauntlet if you do good enough in the first pool. So like if you're a top, that could be a possibility where if you could be rewarded if you're like the top player. You can play less sets because you do really well in the first round. Let's say you win your round robin, you go straight to bracket. So that could be a way to do it where, if the trade-off is that like the top players have to play more sets or something and they don't want to do that, then in theory, you could do it that way. But I think the other side of it too, and feel free to speak on this, is I feel like top players are more used to playing more sets in general at tournaments anyway. Like you said, propaganda, if you go in 2, you're out, right? But like, if you're a top player, if you're looking to win the tournament, you've got to play 10 plus sets anyway. That's kind of just part of, if you want to make it far in bracket, you have to beat a lot of people, especially if you go to losers. So I feel like there's less variance for top players in general, like if you have to play round robin, so what? A lot of the time you have to play a gazillion sets at tournaments anyway if you go to losers, if you want to make a losers run. So I definitely think a lot of the considerations around round robin versus double elim have been more around scheduling and about availability of consoles and stuff like that. But for some reason the air team or the FET team, now the FET team I should say, they've been really good about having a ton of consoles available so they can run these really ambitious schedules where you have round robin. Like I remember when I went to Air 5 broke the record for how many consoles there were at a single tournament for tournament setups. And I think Air 5 at the time, the record was no tournament had over, like, I think it was like 80 or 90 tournament setups for one tournament. And Air 5 had 150.
Wow.
150 tournament setups. And so if you have 150 tournament setups, you can do these ambitious schedules where you have multiple layers of round robin and most tournaments just don't have the setups to do that. Or at least most tournaments either have some kind of time constraint or a setup constraint. But yeah, I'm with aMSa and you. I think round robin's really fun. I usually do prefer it. A lot of the old school tournaments that I used to go to were usually round robin. PP, you're from the same era. Like a lot of the tournaments we went to back in the day started with round robin. It was honestly like Evo that kind of put most tournaments onto the whole like straight double elimination thing, which is chill. I think it's like, it's fine. But yeah, actually I'm curious what you think, PP, if you prefer just straight double elim or if you liked the whole round robin pool thing or what your experience was.
I always kind of just felt like it was mostly just a logistical nightmare. Like you just couldn't get. There were just so many. Like we didn't have a lot of people, and then we had so many people, and so you just couldn't run it. It's hard to imagine like a Genesis running like round robin anything. Like it's just
yeah.
But like for regionals, maybe there's like a healthy ratio of that.
Did you like round robin, like playing?
Oh, did I like it?
Yeah. If the logistical issues notwithstanding,
did
you have a preference? Did you have a preference?
I get not really. I don't think I've had much of one. Like I like when I go to locals, I like round robin more, especially because it's like I get to interact with more people in the local scene, which I really like. Yeah, but for like like big tournaments, I don't. It doesn't really matter to me. I think if I had to say anything about what top players could feel about it, it's like there probably is a point where people start capping out and not wanting to play stuff. Like you even see that kind of at Summit where people are playing like constantly for days and days and days and days and days, and then by like the last day, like people are starting to get burnt out. And I think there is a point where everyone kind of caps out, and I think that's different for different people. But that would be the only thing is if you have so many people playing so many sets all the time, maybe there's a point where that starts affecting people. And I think maybe like a middle ground, especially for the people that are going O2, is to have like an alternative like bracket for people that especially that go O2 or 1 and 2 or something like that, so they can get more sets in. And maybe there's something like that. There's like a middle ground where you could have like some setups for it, but not like so many, and that way people can get a better experience. I think that's at least a place to start.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mhm.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, propaganda. I mean, if you yeah, if you don't have anything else to
Oh.
add,
No, I think that one was pretty quick and easy.
Can I
Yeah.
talk about this a little bit more?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I was in Japan, I was the TO in the Battle Gateway, the Japanese local tournament, like a monthly one, and we had this problem when we have just double elimination tournaments, and then some low level players a little bit complain about just finishing 0-2, then they're kind of also including new players. Have the just 0-2, then just my tournament is over. It's kind of not fun. And also the playing some top player is kind of asking the play some friendly something. It's kind of hard to ask. Yeah, it's some people are too shy to ask that kind of stuff. So that's why we decided to do the round robins, and also the after round robins, like top 32. We have the 80 attendees. Then top 32 make it to the next bracket. But the other 48 players have the kind of we make another bracket for the
Yeah.
losing the after losing the round robins.
Wow, so you
Right.
went round robin into another bracket.
Yeah, I think that one was pretty good for the locals. They got enough experience, and also after losing it, we can play some matches, and then after round robins and another double elimination tournament, some people get used to talking with some players, and then they can play some friendlies. I think this format is pretty good. Also, the Pet 3 has that bracket. So some people who make it to the main bracket was called the gold bracket.
I saw that. Yeah, I was wondering what this was.
So I think that here is
Well, you get a different.
here's the badges and here's
Oh,
the
okay.
figures.
Oh, that's
Can
actually
you
really
see?
cool. That this I can see
And
perfectly.
you can see the
Melee gold finals, melee silver
gold.
finals.
The silver and the bronze is for the player who lost the first round robins.
Were you? So you were gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then other people can still play the silver and the bronze, and also they can play there with kind of same level of the players.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good for the community. So still having the round robins in the majors or majors is kind of pretty tough. And some top player kind of DQing. Sometimes, unfortunately, then the next bracket gets kind of mixed up. Then like the Dane versus Mango round 1 might happen. So that kind of situation happens sometimes. So that's why I don't like the round robins on the a big tournament or invitation one. But for the locals or nationals, the big locals one, round robin is pretty good. Also, like having the bronze, silver, gold bracket is kind of ideal. I think that some TOs should do that options.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like the whole like yeah, the whole like multiple, you know, I mean, we used to just call them amateur brackets, but okay, bronze
yeah,
bracket,
amateur
silver bracket, you know, whatever. I feel like that. The kind of nice thing about it is it you know, it becomes a lot less about winning at that, because you know you don't feel like if you win the amateur bracket, you don't feel like you won the event, obviously. But I think at that point, like the people who will participate are the people who just want to play more sets and get better. And so I think it kind of takes the edge off for a lot of players, because it's like now it's a lot less about winning, and because it, you know, matters a lot less, obviously. You know, less or no prize money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you know, I think it really satisfies that kind of just like being able to play more tournament sets and getting more experience. And I think that does really help people, is like being able to play more tournament sets, especially early on. I mean, I thought Training Mode Tuesdays was an awesome format for the same reason, like online. And I'm not just saying that because I won one of the amateur brackets, because you know the story, PP.
It's in the back of my mind. I don't fully
The
remember
story,
everything.
I insist that I didn't plan on this. Like, it just happened, and I only found out from Kadoran later that this was apparently a grimy thing to do. I went secondaries in the ladder phase, and I didn't make the main bracket, and then I decided to go Fox in the amateur bracket. But I insist that I just felt like playing Fox. Kadoran doesn't believe me. He thinks I did it on purpose.
We'll have to get him on the show and have
there wasn't any prize money. There was no. There's no incentive. There's literally no incentive.
Yeah.
I just.
Actually, in Japan, I think maybe still Kagaribi. Do you guys know Kagaribi?
Kagaribi, yeah, the Smash Ultimate tournament.
Like 1,000 attendees tournament.
Yeah.
Still, I think they still have the amateur bracket.
Oh, they do.
At least the first or second one has it.
Yeah. Okay.
Then we streamed the grand final of the amateur bracket right before the main bracket grand
starts. Oh, right before grand final. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's pretty
people
cool.
people feel so hype.
Yeah,
that was fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty.
So even winning the amateur bracket has the opportunity to they could show their skill on the streaming setup. So that's kind of a good benefit for them.
For sure.
Yeah, that's pretty tight.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the question, Propaganda. And if there's any shout outs you want to do, you know, the floor is yours, so feel free.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Level 1 Melee, which is a new player in O2er online weekly that's currently on a small hiatus, but comes back pretty soon, I hope. It's for West Coast players, and every other week they run the same gold, silver, bronze bracket style. And yeah, it's super, super fun. A lot of good vibes. And yeah, that's all I got. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Have a good one. Yeah, that's a good shout out. We're fans of those tournaments. Yeah, for sure. It's been a while since I've been. Well, I guess it's been on hiatus, but yeah, I used to have some people that were regular attendees of those. I wonder how they're doing. I wonder if they've been entering lately in any of the other beginner tournaments going on. But okay, we got one more question for the week. It's going to be Case. Am I saying your name correctly? I know I used to.
It's Käse actually, but it's German.
Case?
So yeah.
Case.
Well, good to have you on the program again. Are you calling in from Germany?
Yeah, I'm calling in from Germany right now.
That's
awesome.
late.
It's
That is
it's 1+1 in the morning right now. But we
Well,
don't speak about it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry for speaking about it, but thank you for joining us all the same, whatever time it might be. And what's your question for us today?
Yeah, I got a question for aMSa and Toph and maybe you, PP, as well.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know how much you traveled, but I know that Toph and aMSa did travel a lot to different regions, I'd say, to all the bigger regions for Melee, like the US, Canada, Europe, Japan, and Australia. And I was wondering, what similarities and differences did you notice over the years in terms of the communities? Like, do communities treat the game or top players or tournaments in general differently than other communities? And like, how different are the vibes when you go to those tournaments?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, you can go first, aMSa, especially since you
yeah.
went to Fate recently and I didn't.
Yeah. I think the Pet 3 crowd is the kind of best. You know, they have the kind of soccer, the football communities. So
Yeah.
their chant is a kind of depend on their soccer football experience. So especially for the Josh man, their chant is crazy.
I believe
They're
that.
singing a song together, and then they make the what kind of the rules looks good. They're talking each other, and then
I wish I was there for
that's
that.
crazy. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think that singing a song with them is kind of the best. You kind of not have the jet lag. Definitely, I joined with them. so so the similarity that I think that they all so kind and so nice. Every Japan, West Coast, East Coast, Canada, every Smash community is so nice for the everyone. And the difference is that I think that I can see the difference on play styles. So I think that a lot of the West Coast players are grinding a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but that they're playing the games like the speedruns.
Ah, in terms of the
And
playstyle.
yeah, play style, grinding a lot, and playing the game like a speedruns. So their tech skill is so good, but sometimes they got bad habits and losing some unfortunate situation.
Hmm.
West Coast and the East Coast player playing the games like the trying to play like a fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking about what the opponent is thinking, what trying to do the opponent, then trying to do some stuff. And I think Japanese people is kind of same. We
Yeah.
focus on the fighting game styles a lot,
Hmm.
and but the East Coast player also has a trouble like the if we think like the one option doesn't work, then uh, can't stop thinking about it. Then if we like a mentality bad something that playing so suddenly the playing gets so bad. So
Hmm.
like the East Coast player trying to play the game like too smart. So need to play the game more simply sometimes.
For East Coast, for the East Coast
Yeah,
playstyle.
for the East Coast play styles.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
for Europe, they mixed up the West Coast and the East Coast play style. Both of them. It's like a mixed up.
Hmm.
But
Wow.
but sometimes some player did both play styles pros. Some people
Mm-hmm.
play the both play styles cons.
Ah. What about Canada and Australia?
I haven't been to Australia, so not sure so far. I think I should join this year, next, or could be next year. Canada is I think it's pretty much depending on West Coast or East Coast. I feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So similar to the USA then.
Yeah, I feel.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
can
that's
say just
really.
North American style. Then
Mhm.
separate on the West Coast and East Coast.
It's I'm curious who you have in mind when you're saying, when you're kind of categorizing these play styles, like which players you think play like the West Coast way the most, and which players you think the most are the most like East Coast. Maybe
Most
East Coast, like maybe like Aklo? I don't know.
East Coast.
Yeah, like when you say that West Coast plays that way and East Coast plays that way, like are there any specific players that you feel like
Yeah,
specifically come to mind?
I feel the Aklo, even the Zane, Cody, Jacob, I think they're not playing the crazy tech skill style,
Mm-hmm.
except the Hacks Money.
Except Hex Money, yeah.
Yeah.
Hex, well, no one plays like Hex. What about on the West Coast?
For West Coast, I feel some Falco player, like the uh, could be Bobby Big Balls. Plop is also the kind
Yeah.
of style. Kind of speedrun
Plup
style.
is that kind of style. Yeah, Plup does kind of play like he's speedrunning.
Yeah.
That's true.
Also,
That's
I'm
true.
kind of speedrun stuff. Speedrun
Yeah.
stuff a little bit.
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
more on that side than the other side, I would say.
Yes.
But Mango is very different, I think.
Yeah.
I think Mango's not. He doesn't play like he's speedrunning.
True.
But Mango doesn't really play like these. I don't know. But
Mhm.
I definitely see what you're saying. I mean, back in the day, people would say that Mewtwo King
Mhm.
was when Mango and Mewtwo King were the two best players. They would say that Mango was the Mind Games one and Mewtwo King was the Texical one. You remember
Yeah,
that?
it
PP?
really
Like,
does sound like aMSa's saying that's the opposite now. between the
now,
two
which I
coaches.
kind
It's
of
really
agree
interesting.
with. When those specific, when the specific people that aMSa brings up,
Yeah.
I see
Xbox
it.
is also East Coast. Mewtwo King is also from East Coast, right?
He
Mewtwo
is.
King is also from East
Yeah.
Coast. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Wizard as well.
Yeah.
And some West Coast player who's playing the Nesmod God.
Ned's is a good example. Ned's is a
some-
good example.
Some Texas players are pretty much good, good, have the pretty good tech skill for sure.
Yeah, Texas players, SFOP,
Mhm.
Bobby, Salt,
Lobby,
yeah,
yeah.
all those players play really crazy
Mhm.
and really
Yes.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And
They
then they have
impressive.
Jigglypuff players too, but
Yes. Also Zamu.
yeah,
Is Zamu from the
Zam was
West?
Midwest, right? So
Midwest.
Zam was more East Coast.
Mhm.
Zam was more East Coast.
In
I
terms of
think.
his location. I
In
don't know
terms of
about-
his location.
I don't know about what the play style would be to fit in here exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably used to be the living in Florida, then they play in the summer. So it's a play style is like the East Coast style, then they coming to the West Coast, and
There
yeah,
you
could
go.
be.
He moved to fit your theory, aMSa.
Mm-hmm.
He had to
Mhm.
move so he could fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really fascinating. I haven't really thought
Mhm.
about regional
Mhm.
playstyles in a long time because I felt
Yeah.
like for a long time the whole trend of regional playstyles was kind of going away with the
Mhm.
whole online boom, but maybe at the top level it kind of circles back around to becoming prominent again. I'm not 100% sure.
aMSa may also be basing this on non-top players that he's playing because I find that
For
to
sure.
be just as good of an indicator as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think the cool thing about Melee is that I feel like styles get more and more prominent the higher up you go.
Right.
Which is not the case in every game, right? I think there are games
Mhm.
where I think less interesting games frequently
Sure.
have very pronounced playstyles at lower levels, but then when you get towards top level, you have to play a certain way or you can't make it, you know? And this is something people used to say on Smash boards that might happen to Melee, but
It hasn't.
Mhm.
which is great.
Mhm.
So I think Melee's from a gameplay and like from a meta perspective, I think that's very healthy. It's you want diversity in playstyle at the top level. You don't want it to be where like, the better and better you get, there's only one right way to play, there's only one right playstyle, there's only one right decision or path of decisions. So that is good for sure. But
Also I found the young player playing the games like speedruns, and the old school player
Yeah.
try to play the game like fighting games. Also, a lot of the Legion's old school player love to play doubles recently.
old school players.
Every Legion's
Old school players.
every Legion, yes.
Yeah. Well, that one makes sense, right?
Interesting.
That would make sense because like doubles is how you retire without retiring.
Yeah, in Japan, I feel the Japanese doubles community is bigger than the singles right now.
Really?
Oh wow.
A lot of the retired players join the Melee doubles server, and they play
Hmm.
almost every day. So.
Wow. Yeah.
But
That
when
makes sense.
when we enter the unranked matches, and we can't play anyone else. We can't
Yeah.
play. We can
Yeah.
find it. We can find the opponent, but then we just play the doubles. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
That makes a lot of sense. They used to say that you're not truly retired until you you only enter doubles.
Yeah.
tournaments.
Yeah, I feel the Melee doubles is like the pretty good hobby. Hobby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a good hobby.
Good pastime.
That's how I
Yeah.
feel about it. Yeah. That's how I
It's
feel
like,
about it.
yeah, even we did not play competitively, still fun
Yeah,
to play. Yeah, Tenkaichi is the best for sure.
Tenkaichi is the best. I feel like yeah, I feel like I wish that was more of a thing in more places. I wish people would play doubles a little bit more seriously. But yeah, if it's bringing, if it's keeping old school players invested and keeping them back in the game, I think that's really great. There's a lot of people that, if the only way I get to play them is in doubles, then
Better than not at all.
better than not at all. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm thinking people like Drug Fox. Drug Fox will play doubles, but hard to get Drug Fox to play singles. Yeah, for me, I was just gonna say, I was just gonna add on by saying that I played in tournaments in Japan for a long time, and I really appreciated how I just really liked how prompt the tournaments were. They didn't run late, which is awesome. If anything, they started a little bit early, but because you'd be playing it's a local, but the local, it would start at like 10 a.m. or sometimes even earlier. But back then I was, I had to wake up really early to work every day, so I didn't mind. But I really liked how prompt they were with the tournament schedules. I thought that was awesome because, then I'd move to the West Coast and I'd enter tournaments in Seattle or NorCal. And, sometimes you don't leave the venue until like 1 a.m. or something. It's like, it's like, why is this tournament still going on? It's insane. So that was the really big thing that I really appreciated out of Japan. And that was to me like the biggest example of like a kind of a regional cultural difference that I really appreciated. I thought that was great. Also, everyone would help out with cleaning up. After the tournament, I feel like in Japan, when I went to the Sumabato tournaments, like everyone would help clean up. And it was like everyone would put the chairs away and everyone would, pick up the trash or whatever. Whereas I don't really see that in American tournaments. Especially not really majors. I mean, I get why. It's because at majors, there's like, there's union workers that are going to clean the venue up or what have you. But I always thought that was pretty neat, that people would kind of chip in and I'm not saying that not all scenes are like that. I mean, I think a lot of locals, people bring CRTs, right? People are bringing setups. People are like, kind of chipping in and doing their part to make sure the tournament happens. But I always really appreciate things like that. And I thought Japan was really good about that stuff. And yeah, I'm going to echo what aMSa said about Fate. Like, I haven't been to Fate, but I've been to Air, and it's like the same tournament series. And we did a video on the Golden Guardians Melee channel where I was talking about my Air 5 experience, which was the last Air tournament. And before it kind of became Fate. And yeah, it was like the best tournament I've ever been to. So yeah, if you're interested, you can go check that out on the GG Melee channel. It's like animated. It's pretty cool.
Please.
But yeah, I love Europe. I wish I could make it to Europe more often. Even the DreamHacks I went to, I would say it's a much less like Air captures, I think, the spirit of EU Melee a lot more than the DreamHacks that I went to. But even the DreamHacks I went to were still really, really fun. They were obviously a little bit more esportsy because it's DreamHack, But in its own way, that was kind of cool. I've been to a couple of the DreamHacks we did, and those are always a good time. So yeah, I mean, I would go again. I don't know, but yeah, good question, Kaizen. Thank you for calling in and asking it.
Yeah, no problem. I also agree that Air 5 was my favorite tournament of all time. I think we played that,
Very nice.
didn't we?
Did we in tournament?
Yeah, I think we played in pools.
We must have been one of the pools, yeah, because there's so many pools. Wow, I don't remember at all. I remember I had was it second round of pools? I remember I had who was it? Tech? I think Tech was in my pool.
Oh yeah, I was in this pool. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was a fun pool for sure. except for me, it was confusing because there was a lot of Samuses and a lot of Puffs, and I kept trying to up smash people, and then they wouldn't die to my up smash, and I was sad.
This was Pal, I remember. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was Pal. It was definitely Pal. But
yeah, but
you're a Sheik player,
question.
so yeah, I can't complain about Pal because you're a Sheik player, so your struggles are by far the hardest.
Yeah, I met you with Switch.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But yeah, thank you for calling in. If there's any shout outs you want to do, the floor is yours.
I don't know. I want to shout out like our local TOs we have here because they it's Rene, Happy, and EP. They kind of keep our local scene alive. And we actually, for quite some time, we had like locals with 4 or 5 people. And now we get back to having like 20 or maybe even 30 people, which is really cool to see like even new players who started during the pandemic.
Wow, that's
like
awesome.
coming to their first regional or first local and see how cool the community can be.
Wonderful.
It's really cool that those guys just keep it alive, and I know some of them are listening, and I really want to give them a shout out for all the
Wow, very
work
nice.
they do.
We appreciate you. We also hope you all get some sleep wherever you may be, German TOs that are listening.
Yeah, really appreciate the always appreciate the German call-ins and PB, you got some French fans as well. Just everyone who stays up late calling in from the EU, we deeply appreciate it.
Yes,
But
thank you
yeah,
all.
thank you so much, Kays, and till next time.
Bye.
See ya.
And I think that's the last question we had
Mhm.
lined up from our callers. So yeah, that's gonna do it. I mean, I'm yeah, really interested to see what I don't know when summer ranking is gonna be. I think we've got
Oh, the
potentially
ranking.
Wheat lined up for a week soon to come to talk about, potentially what the rankings might end up looking like. And yeah, for you, so when are you moving back to Japan?
Mhm.
When are you?
I'm back to Japan after the off season too, so we'll be at the end of the September.
End of September. Okay, got you.
Got it.
But still go to the big house 11.
Yeah.
And go to the December tournament. Also thinking about joining the next year's Genesis and could be Baobisi and GOML, Super Smash Con maybe.
Mm-hmm.
If we have a big house next year, definitely a big house. So still join the 5, 6, 7 or more. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Even after
Yeah.
going back to Japan, I'm competing Melee. So
Yeah.
also I will compete the Smash Ultimate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because Japan's Smash Ultimate community is too big.
Yeah, it's huge, and they're really
Yeah.
good. They seem
Yeah.
like maybe the strongest region.
Yeah, that's crazy. Even the weekly tournament, we have 10,000 viewers.
Wow.
Really?
That's crazy, right?
Holy cow.
Wow. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, because of the locals joined a lot of the Japanese top player. So
Uh-huh.
imagine that we have the Mango, me, Hungry Box, Zane, Cody, Jamuk in one region, then they all join the region,
That makes sense.
the weekly
Yeah.
tournament every week. So
That makes sense.
Honestly sounds like Coinbox in a way, right?
Oh, yeah,
Maybe Coinbox is up there if you
Yeah,
if you
true.
count all the different streamers.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Mm.
But
true.
I actually am curious how that's who streams the Japanese Ultimate weekly? Who's the streamer? Or is it
Not
different
specific
streamers?
streamer. They have the tournament organizing committee like the BG Bootcamp, like BTS Smash account something.
Is it like
Oh,
East Geek
Yeah,
Smash
it's
or
Geek. Yeah, it's a Geek Smash.
wow? And that channel alone gets 10,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
the
that's
Kagaribi, the big one, got 100,000 viewers.
100,000.
That's incredible.
That's so
Wow.
good.
On East Geek Smash.
Yeah. So that's why I
Wow.
think the entering the Smash Ultimate tournament looks good while in Japan.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because American, I mean, even the super majors, I don't think they're getting numbers like that.
I
I
don't think so.
Yeah, this time at GOML we got 30,000 or 40,000
for Melee. What about for Ultimate?
I think
Same, right?
number gets lower.
Lower.
Yeah, Melee is bigger than the Ultimate at this time.
Maybe it's because Melee was earlier, so maybe people went to. Oh,
Yeah,
Ultimate wasn't that late. I'm surprised. Huh.
yeah, no.
I don't know. Wow, but Japanese ult. Damn,
Man,
that's crazy.
that's a
Yeah.
big appeal over there. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they might be. I mean, Japan might be the strongest region now, right? In ult.
Yeah.
I
Huh.
think.
Also
I think that's like not a hot take.
Yeah. Also, the Smash Ultimate is because of the in North America,
Mhm.
basically the competitive player just streaming and making the content.
Yeah.
But in Japan, not only the content creator, but also there's some basic streamer, kind of top streamers making the
Mhm.
Smash content, something.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the talk, the CR Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the big streamer tournament one.
Oh, similar to Sierra Cup.
It's not a Smash though, but when they did a Street Fighter 6 one, they have like 300,000 viewers or something. That's crazy.
Are they gonna do it? Are they gonna do a Smash Ultimate one?
Yeah. So if we have that kind of stuff, like a streamer tournament or something in a future Smash tournament, that looks a good idea for get more new people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's definitely a pretty big idea. Someone should definitely get on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the Japanese scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, that's like so much it's so much bigger than I feel like Ultimate is over here even. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I think that's why the legendary Street Fighter 6 gets a lot bigger in Japan.
Because of the Sierra Cup, because of events like that.
Sierra Cup,
Yeah.
And
No, it's really important, I think, to do stuff like that. I feel like it's I don't know, we haven't thought about it in a while in Melee, but I know we've had that kind of idea before, like getting doing some events with like top players and like big streamers or celebrities or something. But someone's just got to step up and do it. We haven't done it yet.
We got to bother Ludwig more.
Yeah. I mean that. I guess so. But
I don't know how else we're getting top streamers to do things.
Really, we got to bother Aiden, right? Is the
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know where that starts. Maybe it starts with Ludwig and Ludwig tells Aiden what to do. I don't know. Ludwig probably has to do the outreach, right? But maybe not. I mean, maybe you just get, you get some prize money, you do it. I mean, I feel like streamers are always looking for something to stream.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it's just, you just have a content idea. It's like, yeah, I mean, I need to stream something.
Gotta get these hours.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. Well, best of luck with your Japan trial. I guess that's not for another month and a half. But we're confident you'll still do good in tournaments and stuff like that. Of course, here at GG, we're always going to be cheering for you. But I think the only thing left to do is the community voice. So, is there a question, aMSa, that you want to ask to all the viewers out there, to our YouTube audience? Some question that people will have to answer in the YouTube comments for all the listeners of the show, and it could be anything you want about Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah. So I have a question. So this time we're talking about the secondary characters stuff a lot. So which pair is the best secondary?
The best dual main. Yeah. We were talking about this recently. I was talking about this with Kalindi, actually, KJH.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because he's dual maining Fox and Falco, and he said, it's not very good. He thinks it's not very good, but he says it's the most fun dual main. So, because I don't think it is much matchup coverage. I think Fox and Falco are kind of good against the same characters, and their jump squad is really different. But Mango does it.
Yep.
Homemade Waffles does it. KJH does it. There's some Fox Falco dual mains. I used to do it. I was a Fox Falco dual main. Looking back, it does kind of not make that much sense. Really, you should just kind of maybe pick one. You don't need both, but
also back to the 5 goats LR, PP use Falco on the Mars, and Armada is the Fox and the Peach.
Fox and Peach.
And Mewtwo King is the 3 character, Fox, Mars, and the Sheik. The 3 character. Compared with that LR, we lack of the dual mains maybe. So
way fewer dual mains these days, yeah.
Yeah, left hand, basically the left hand and the plop, then left hand plop mango. That's it.
Left hand plop mango. Yeah.
And a little bit of you and Zane soon.
A little bit.
Yeah. I'm really quick before we go. So what do you think is the best dual main?
Personally, because I have the Yoshi, I want to say Yoshi and the Falco because it's covered almost all of the matchup stuff.
Do you think that's so? You think that's the best maybe for you, or do you think that's like the best dual main in the whole game?
On the whole game,
I don't think he thinks it's the best in the whole game.
Yeah, I just curious about it.
Yeah,
the question you're asking everyone is the best dual main in the whole game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. Also, the Melee has some weird characters like the ice climbers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Even
I think
the
Icy's Puff is really good. I think Icy's Puff is underrated.
Yeah.
I don't know why none of the Icy's players ever tried Puff
True.
as a
Fox-
Peach counter pick.
Yeah. I
Like-
think that
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
Puffed it
even
up.
on the beach that they're having the Mars, so looks
Yeah.
good. So having the kind of peaky, how do I say peaky? Kind of weird character
Mm.
and
Yeah.
a good strong character looks pretty good mixed up.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Also,
Um,
the Armora is one of the best, so the
Yeah.
Peach and the Fox, but a little bit having the Mars problem though.
Little bit.
Peach and Fa a little bit.
Maybe on FD at least, and maybe like Stadium, if nothing else,
Yeah.
like a stage thing.
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I've said it many times. I think it's Fox Marth. I just don't think you can go
Really?
wrong.
I think Fox Sheik is better.
Fox sick.
I feel like you just kind of get mixed by Marth on FD, and with Fox Marth, you don't have that problem. Like I don't think you can get counterpicked.
I think Sheik does fine on FD.
Oh,
against
you're a
Marth.
believer.
Yeah.
How's
I am. No, I am a believer. I think
yeah.
and I would say that recent tournaments show it.
They do support that. That's true. They do support that.
No, I don't think that matchup is that bad. Like Marth definitely sharks Sheik pretty hard, but I think Sheik also kind of sharks Marth.
That's true.
And I think that in a matchup where I think one of the big difference makers is the edge guard. I think Sheik edge guards Marth better than Marth edge guards Sheik because of the aMSa tech mix up. I think a stage that really simplifies the edge guard flowchart, I think that also helps Sheik. It's really easy to rinse and repeat your edge guard on that stage.
I understand. I don't agree, but I understand.
Yeah.
But I am curious what aMSa's answer is.
And it's only one stage. So if your argument is Marth on FD, at the end of the day, it's still just one stage.
I mean, I think Fox Sheik
What?
is still good. I
What?
just don't think it's the best.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty interesting because of the pack and the ice climbers, some German is not enough to cover these two characters. So if we have the Sheik, but the Sheik is not enough to beat these two, could be Fox versus them, but the the Fox versus I think is sometimes it's weird. Having the Fox is pretty good, so
Pretty good.
Yeah.
having the Fox and how we should think about how to beat having Fox and think about how to beat the Mars and the Falco. Could be Yoshi Fox,
Yoshi Fox is pretty good.
right?
Marth Falcon could be pretty good.
Mars Falco.
You run into issues with Sheik, but outside of Sheik, Marth Falcon.
Uh-huh.
I'm just thinking Marth for the spacies,
Uh-huh.
and Falcon kind of dumps on floaties.
Yeah, Crowley is
Some of
good.
Marth's more annoying matchups. Like who does Marth want a secondary for? You know what I mean? Potentially characters like maybe Yoshi, characters like
Mhm.
I mean Sheik is the big one. Sheik is the one where,
Yeah.
you don't really have great. That's where you kind of want a Fox in there somehow.
Yeah.
Honestly, Marth Puff. This was what Zayd was talking about. Zayd was talking about Marth Puff for a while. Remember that?
Oh, Mars
Because the whole thing was you want to counterpick for Sheik. Potentially you want to counterpick potentially for Marth doesn't have that many problems at the end of the day.
No, he doesn't.
Falcon, but I mean, nah, not really.
It's mostly like certain stage and character combinations.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the logic with the whole Marth Ices thing. Is that it really comes down to what you're doing on FD. So I get the logic there, but we'll see if
it looks pretty good timing to think about this.
Oh, it's a good time, yeah.
Yeah. Could be Donkey Kong Samus.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Samus.
And currently the Pikachu is also interesting on FD.
Ooh, yeah, no one's doing that. Pikachu's chain grab is really, really good.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it at first. So the versus Fox on FD.
Yeah.
Pikachu kind of big.
Yeah, I think Pikachu's a pretty viable character, especially as like a secondary. That's true. Well, we're curious. We're all curious here what the responses are going to be out there. I'm sure somebody who's really dialed into like, the statistics of how specific player matchups do on specific stages. Like if someone has all that data compiled, you could come up with probably a really, really intelligent answer. Because I do ultimately think that it's going to come down to stages that determine, what the real true optimal answer to this question is. But of course, if you don't have that data too, you can just, come at us out of left field with some crazy answer that you don't think we'd expect. But yeah, I'm very curious to see if we get as many responses as we did with the Pokemon question. But yeah, I think that's all from this aMSa episode. Thank you again, aMSa, for coming on.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the next time I see you will probably be, I don't know, I'll probably see you before off season, but I'm not actually 100% sure.
I'm going to the Super Smash Con, Shine,
Fine.
Riptide.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to at least one of those, I think. So
Oh yeah.
I haven't bought my ticket yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, and finally I can take a break. Like this 3 weeks is crazy, just crazy.
I mean, this is what everyone was saying is like, in the spring, there's always this off season, not the tournament off season, but there's like this season where we don't have tournaments. And then out of nowhere, it just hits you like a truck in the summer. There's just a tournament every single weekend. It feels like so many events coming up. So
Also,
it happened again. It happens every year.
Yeah. Also, the end. I think that this end of this year is a lack of the tournament compared with the
Yeah, because
first
there's no circuit finals.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
the compared with the first half of the year, because the
Yeah.
GOML, a lot of work one, the
Yeah.
Pet 3 is all go the first season.
Yeah.
So after the summer ranking coming, it's pretty difficult to change the summer ranking because of the lack of the tournament. Maybe I think that Super Smash Bros. Is not hit the super major like the GOML.
Interesting. Yeah.
Last year was not as big as the other one. So
Yeah,
so
SmashCon
maybe
always comes at a weird time of year. I remember the fall Super SmashCon Fall Fest. That one wasn't that big either.
Mhm.
I remember there was one, that Polish one. Remember, that was like 2020 or 2021.
Oh yeah,
Polish
and
one.
2022, 2021 fall.
2021 fall. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
kind of weird name of the Super Smash Bros.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Something tells me, yeah, I don't know. Something tells me there'll be something. I mean, I feel like usually, kind of like with Tipped Off, like if there's no super major, then I feel like all of the top players will decide, okay, now this tournament is a super major. And something will just become a major. So maybe something like that will happen again. Maybe there'll be another Ludwig Smash Invitational.
Yeah, so that's because of the we have the Wave Dash, the tournament.
Yeah.
At the time, I just got invited to the other side of the tournament, East Coast tournament, the Trail Invitational.
Oh, you didn't realize how big Wave Dash was going to be.
But when I checked the Wave Dash, only I found the Kodolin, Johnny, J-Mook.
Like some California player. Okay, J-Mook. Yeah.
And I already went to the Level Up Expo, Major Upset, DreamHack San Diego, and the attendee is kind of similar. This tournament is kind of same level with the Level Up Expo and DreamHack San Diego, kind of small one. Okay, and then decided to go to the East Coast. Then a lot of the top players decided to go the last minutes. What the heck?
That does seem like it happens a lot with Smash players for whatever reason.
So I appreciate if the top player enter the tournament as early as possible.
Yeah. Well, don't tell us. Don't tell us. Tell your fellow top player. I always assumed there was like a Discord server or something where all the top players are talking and deciding what tournament to go to next. I have no idea how this stuff gets decided. I don't know what the
at least I posted it. What tournament am I thinking about joining? So I hope the other players.
Yeah, I mean, someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it.
Then make the tournament gets bigger. Looks good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, best of luck to you, regardless of what tournaments end up,
Mhm.
you know, kind of being on the horizon. Would love to see you kind of climb in the rankings, both in the summer and in the
Oh,
in the end of year rankings. But yeah, curious how that's going to shake out.
Yeah. Yeah, at least I'm trying to do my best and trying to hit the best point in the world. Also,
Yeah.
last year I got like a 6th or 7th on the
Mhm.
2022 summer ranking, but after that I bring it back. So now I solved the my controller, the fob controller issues, and having a secondary character, and
Mhm.
some get some good knowledge versus Fox matchup with
Mhm.
Yoshi. That could be better. I can win.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excited to see if there's any other. I don't know. Yeah. If the
Big
Marth
win.
ever comes out, going to be
Yeah.
looking forward to that one.
Yeah, fortunately, I have the 3 weeks break for the Super Smash Con, so I can ready for the Mars. And
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll ask PP.
Okay, we'll be on the lookout. Yeah, PP, you're gonna have to give
Alright,
you're gonna
man.
have to give some coaching.
We'll set something up. You just hit me up, man. We'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you again, aMSa, for coming on. PP as well as always, and we'll be back next week with another episode of Radio Melee. I guess spoilers, it might end up being Wheat. But either way, we're gonna have a lot of summer ranking stuff to talk about. That's gonna be a hot topic in the community very, very soon. So look forward to that. And in the meantime, this has been Radio Melee signing out.